does that mean I have to keep it here?
Maycee, congratulations on the victory. Just give me your initial thoughts after coming in and having a performance like that tonight.
I'm happy, I'm blessed, I'm thankful that I came out of my fight with Montana completely healthy and able to have such a quick turnaround. And then to be able to share the cage with Jessica on her last fight was an honor. And I'm happy and I'm blessed.
You had a great first round. You were hitting her with some big elbows in the clinch, and then the second round was a little different. But it was your corner that really seemed to get you fired up in the third round. How important was it to hear those words from Danny and from Uriah?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, she really wanted to just lock down on the clinch, and I was telling them, like, when someone wants to just, like, hold you in the clinch if they're not really trying to progress, I just felt like, I was kind of stuck. And she's strong, so in that last round, they were like, don't get in the clinch, and that's something I really had to make an effort to do. It's just like, keep the range, stay in the distance, and just really pick it apart. And I should have, could have, would have done it in the very beginning of the fight, but I didn't, and I learned something again in this fight, and I'm very thankful, for them, and in all the craziness and all the hecticness of a fight, it's like, who are those voices that you can just listen to and just like pull you down and calm you down or fire you up, and just remind you, like, this is it, like, this is 15 minutes of your best effort, and I'm very thankful that I have all three of them.
How did you react to seeing Jessica take the gloves off and then announce her retirement, knowing that it was you were going to be her final opponent?
To be honest, I had no idea. Of course, you never really know that someone's going to retire. There's always, I wasn't really focused on her, like, in terms of, like, where her career was going to go, in the beginning. I wanted to talk some crap and say some stuff like that, but now that I see it, I'm glad that I didn't say anything, because, that's a real thing, and it's something that's, it's worthy of respect, She's done a lot in this sport, especially for women's MMA, and she's someone that I've always looked up to. I know it sounds like, you look up to a fighter in your own division, but I do, because she's just genuinely a nice person, and I've had conversations with her before, and we've always talked, over Instagram, texting, whatever, and I have a lot of respect for her, so again, it was an honor to share the cage with her.
And last thing for me, you mentioned in your post-fight interview with Joe Rogan that this was the last fight on your contract, so tell me what your thoughts are right now after that performance. You said you were excited to sit down with Dana and Hunter. What are you sort of looking for as you sit down with those guys?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that was the last fight on my deal, and right now, I was ranked like number 13 going into this, so I want to sit down and I want to talk to them, and I want to really game plan out, where my contract is at and how we're going to chase the title, because I'm not that far away from chasing it, and I'm working and improving in that. So, I'm excited to see where this career goes, and, who knows, maybe somebody else reaches out, but honestly, I'm really excited to stay with UFC. I mean, I'm 24, and that's my home, no matter what, that is where I want to be.
Maycee, was there anything about Jessica that surprised you tonight in the cage?
No, I mean, she's, like I said, she's a legend in the sport. I mean, she's got over 20-something fights, so she's always going to be well-rounded. But to me, the only thing that really, surprised me was the fact that, she was really locked down, on the clinch. And when she took me down, I wanted to, wait it out, because I didn't want to make a mistake, and just try to get up too crazy or do anything stupid, because I know that she's strong. I know that she's been in there with a lot of people. And so, just wait it out, wait for the opportunity, and then, when the time comes, we'll pick her apart again.
How did you have yourself scored going into that third round? Do you feel like she took the second round because of the takedown?
Honestly, I didn't really think about that, because I'm just like, who's doing more damage? I don't really get in my head about that. In some of my other fights, when I see Dan in the crowd when I'm have a bad round, I've looked at him before and I'm like, I'll fix this, don't worry, I'll fix this. But I don't really think about it like, oh, I'm losing, that doesn't cross my mind. If I'm going to fight, I'm going to chase the best and be the best, I can't let that come in my mind. So I'm never going to be like, oh, damn, I'm down around, I'm chasing the title, and I'm always going to be positive, and there it's like, we're not done till we're done, and I'm always going to believe that I'm a champion.
A lot of fighters will renegotiate when they have one fight left on their contract. In your case, you decided to just fight out your contract. Was that because of the short notice, or was part of you knowing that if you got a good performance here, that's even more leverage when you go to the negotiating table?
To be honest, I think it was a little bit of both between me and, at the time I was talking to Mick. I think it was just, a coincidence. It was quick turnaround. Not really time for like negotiation. I mean, I got the fight offer on Sunday, and it's like, do you want to sit down and talk about a contract? Do you want to sit down and work on beating Jessica? So it really just kind of worked out that way. They did throw an offer out, and I was just like, I feel like, with one more good win, it could be better. And I went out and I did that. So, I'm looking forward to making some more money.
And just last one for me, I don't know if you saw Casey O'Neill tweeted after your win saying she wants to fight you. Is that a fight that would interest you after this win tonight?
I did, and I want to address something with people that are calling her out and saying she backed out. I know that Casey O'Neill's not just trying to back out of fights. I know that she was coming out to fight Jessica, and she tore her ACL, and that sucks. That freaking sucks. I've been there, done that, and it's terrible. But, I know that she has a road of recovery behind along with her, and, when she gets back, who knows where she'll be in the rankings, who knows where I will be. Like I said in my other interviews, I'm working forward, I'm not working backwards, so if she's ranked behind me, I don't really want to fight that fight. Same thing with Erin Blanchfield. She called me out, and it's like, why would I fight you? You have 2 fights in your fight, 2 or 3, whatever. Why would I fight you? It makes absolutely zero sense for me. But when the time comes and they both have wins, I'll gladly beat them up too.
Maycee, just back here. Going off that, obviously you said about Erin, that doesn't interest you. She did want the winner of this fight. Is there anyone that you see in the division that would make sense for you next?
I haven't looked at it yet. To be honest, when I fought Montana, I was called out just by Joanne Calderwood. I saw that Joanne's taking a little bit of time off. So, it just takes a minute to, contract negotiation, and then really sitting down and looking at game planning out how I'm going to chase this title, and that's why I have a team. That's why I have the people that I have. That's why I have, my family and all of that. So for me to just sit here and be like, yeah, I want this person, honestly, I wasn't even thinking about that. I was thinking about, I had a quick turnaround, and I'm thinking about, okay, I'm going to beat this girl, and then we'll sit down and we'll talk about the rest.
And of course, obviously, you have your eyes on the title. Do you see a clear path to that? Do you know how many, do you think about maybe how many wins you are away from that?
To be honest, when I was chasing the whole youngest UFC champion ever, I was like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna run through all these girls, I'm gonna do this, and I truly believed that I could do that, and life threw something completely different at me, they were like, all right, we're good, Taylor, we're gonna do this, life happens. So for me to say, I want 1 fight and I want to do it, or 2 fights and I want to do it, I really want to become the best fighter that I could be, and I feel like I don't want to rush things, I want to be the moment will present itself, it will happen when it happens, and if it's 1 fight, great, 2 fights, great, I truly believe that I could be the champion, she's being exposed more and more with every fight that she has, and we're going to continue to expose that, and I'm going to continue to grind and chase that title, so when it happens, but when it happens, I'll be ready.
And that was actually going to be my last question. Obviously, when you look at the champion, Valentina Shevchenko, how do you think your style matches up to her, and do you see where you can perhaps beat her?
I feel like I am continuing to evolve, I'm continuing to grind, and her holes are continuing to be exposed. Talia Santos, had she not got that head clash thing, in her IBS one, I don't think she would be the champion right now. Everything's evolving, everything's changing, but for me right now, I'm chasing it, and I'm growing, and right now, do I feel like I'm ready right now? I don't think so. I feel like I need to continue to sharpen up my striking. I need to continue to sharpen up my game. I need to continue to sharpen up my wrestling. But mentally, do I believe I could be the champion today? Absolutely.
Thank you.
Maycee in the middle. So clearly your game is continuing to evolve. We see something new and improved from you every time that you're out. Just curious about how your team is evolving, because it sounds to me like your mental game is also evolving. Are you working with a sports psychologist or anyone who's helping you get through that part of it, especially coming after the injury that you had?
I am, I talked about this in my last fight, which I feel like you guys are all probably we just heard this. But I've been working with Eric Thomas and Sherry Riley quite a lot.
Sherry Riley's a friend of mine.
Is she really? She's here.
My sister.
She's here.
I've seen her.
Her and Javon, they're here. I got to spend quite a bit of time with them. she's been a huge thing in my life. I keep telling her, I'm like, she's my second mother. She truly is. With this sport comes a lot of things. It is amazing. It is. But with it also comes, I'm a professional athlete, and you have family, you have injuries, you have concussions, you have losses. There's so much to deal with, and as a professional athlete, you can't just focus on training. You have to focus on nutrition, you have to focus on sleep, you have to focus on so many things. So really working with someone has been a huge blessing and improvement in my life of just learning how to balance and find that peace that Sherry always talks about, finding that peace in your heart and peace in your life. And I had a whole rant in my last fight, so I won't go too much. You guys can look up the last one. But yeah, I've been working with them quite a bit. I take that very seriously.
She says peace is the new success, so congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Hey, Maycee, back here.
Okay, got you.
Hi. Maycee, you talked about it, you're 24 years old. When we met you on the Contender Series, you were very young. I think even on an Embedded or something a few years back, you're letting them know, like, hey, you're not a little girl anymore. What are you most proud of about how you handled growing up in the spotlight? Because getting to a big stage like the UFC at such a young age, it's obviously it comes with its own challenges for anybody.
I think it's just learning to take everything and just be like, okay, whether it's a new opportunity, whether it's an injury, whether it's a loss, whether it's whatever it is, it's like learning to just something Sherry taught me, learning to own it, learning to be in that moment and just appreciate where you are and the things that can come with it. Again, learning and growing up in the sport, it's crazy. But it's truly like I grew up as like a child in the sport, from my first amateur fight at 8.
Me and you have been at a Contender Series, and you guys, what you all talked about back then?
I do a little bit. I really remember, just like seeing her around in the PI, and just like I remember being at it's like Greens and Proteins, and I was just there on my own, and she was like, oh, you can come over and eat with us, just having someone in your own division. I mean, I know that kind of sounds like weird, like, oh, you're gonna hang out with someone in your own division, but it's like, to me, it was nice because it's something new, and it's like you don't know anybody, and so just to have a friend in the sport, and then also like as a whole, MMA is like crazy. You don't really have, you have a team back home, but when you're traveling a lot, it's really cool to meet other people, and other people have stories, and those stories, when you share them, it's a special thing, and I'm so thankful for the sport of MMA and all the people that it brings,
Excellent, thank you. And last thing for me, another thing you spoke out and really sunk your team into, your purpose, that drive, is that still there? Are you coming in closer to the why of Maycee Barber in your MMA career?
I am. I'm always chasing my why. When I first started the sport, it wasn't to become famous and rich, but it was to become famous and rich. And I have a whole different reason why. I've been through a lot of trauma in my past, and I wanted to be able to give little girls and kids the same opportunity that I was given after I went through my trauma. And so I had an amazing family that gave me a lot of opportunities. They helped me chase this sport, and they helped me get into here. And I want to continue to build that name and build that brand so that I can go back to the young kids that I see go through something similar to what I went through, and be able to help them and give them those opportunities to chase their dreams, whether it's to be an artist, whether it's to be a chef, whether it's to be a fighter, whatever it is, I want to help them with those opportunities.
Excellent. Congrats on using your platform for that, and congrats on the big wins.